All right, guys, how's it going? So, having slept on it, I've been thinking more about the Trent Alexander-Arnold celebration, and I've read all of your comments on the video I did last night. And as I said in that video last night, I can see why some people that think that Trent's going to stay and they don't believe, the Spanish propaganda or whatnot, and they believe that, Trent doesn't negotiate in public means that's because he's staying at Liverpool. I can see that those people, those supporters, would see that as blah, 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 whatever, and it might give them a positive with regards him staying at the club, right? I can understand people thinking like that. I've read all of your comments, and many of you said it wasn't even a celebration, Doug. I didn't see it as a celebration as such. But we don't know what this means, right? We don't know what this means. I've seen some of you mention about Bellingham doing the same thing. We do know that he's responding to what people are saying, or what's out there. And I think one of the best comments I saw in the comments last night was, well, if he signed a contract, he won't be subjected to any of this. You know what I mean? And if he wanted to stop all that a long time ago, he could have done. So I think the majority of people think that he's been stalling and waiting to see if he gets this Real Madrid move. Who knows? I have no idea whether he will go to Madrid or not. I'm not a Twitter twat. I'm not an ITK. I haven't told you, yes, he's going, or no, he won't. How would I possibly know? I tell you what's in the media. I tell you what's out there. I tell you what people are claiming. And from that, we have to try and form our opinions. And my opinions, I think they have changed a little bit every now and then, depending on what people are saying. But I've never had the opinion that he definitely wants to stay with Liverpool. Whereas I do think that applies to Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah. I think he wants to stay at Liverpool, or definitely wants to stay at Liverpool if Real Madrid don't go in for him. But anyway, it was really interesting listening to your comments. And to be honest with you, now that I've slept on it and thought about it, I don't see this as a positive. I don't see it as a positive. I don't see it changing anything, to be honest with you. But you might have different opinions to me, and that's allowed, right? The other thing I want to say to you as well, and I did think this at the time when I watched the game, was when Mo Salah scored and he went up to congratulate him, as did many players. The one player that did this, that didn't want his lips to be read on television, on the cameras, was Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I would love to know your thoughts on that. Nobody can say what he said, but I'd bet my fucking house on it that it was to do with his, contract. That's made things, you'll get what you wanted now. Maybe it was something they spoke about earlier in the day, or, what's going on, or, I just think it was something along those lines, or, what's all this about kind of thing. And that's, that's all right, you know what I mean, whatever. But I didn't see any of the other players doing this. I don't know if I missed something. Please do tell me if I did. And I'm not just having a go at Trent or anything, but I got to be honest. The only thing I can do on here is offer my opinions, right? And that's what we're here for, to offer our opinions. My opinion's no more important than yours. But I got to be honest. I just don't trust him, guys. I've got to be honest. I don't trust him. I don't trust any of this or any of that. I just don't trust it. I think it's all linked to what's going on. It makes me kind of angry, but then I shouldn't be angry because it would be unfair to be angry because, he could have been saying, hey, that was a really good goal, that mate. Well played. You know what I mean? But he didn't want you or me to know what he was saying. That is for sure. And I think in an earlier video, I'm sure I said this today, or it might have been last night, that my views towards Trent have changed a bit because I've seen a change in Trent, and maybe it does coincide with his relationship with Bellingham. I don't know, but at one time I saw this young lad, from there, loves the club sort of thing, would captain the club one day, like a romantic story or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Maybe that sounds a bit, I don't know, not very manly or something. You know what I mean? Just like a dream. You know, local lad done good, goes on to captain his club. Do you know what I mean? Just like amazing. And I always thought he came across as really humble and a nice person and that. But just of late, I've got to admit, like, I've seen a change in him, to be honest. And again, maybe I'm completely wrong. I can only, like, say what I see and what I see. Maybe you only see what you want to see, but I don't know why I would do that, because I'm not, you know, I don't have an agenda or anything. But I kind of think that since he started, you know, hanging out with Bellingham, that he's started to, like, think differently. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a bit of, like, confidence in yourself. You know, the best players do, and that can then come across as arrogant, all right? But I just really get this feeling that Bellingham's been, you know, like, you come to Madrid, we'll do this, we'll do that. You're going to be this, you're going to be that, you're going to be a brand, you're going to be clothes named after you, there's going to be everything, football boots, you know what I mean? And I just feel like, you know, the way that, again, what's wrong with saying I want to be the best in the world, I want to be, you know, I want to win Ballon d'Or and all that, you know, but where's that come from? Because I don't see him as one of the greatest defenders in the world. I really don't. And I can think of various fullbacks, right backs, you know, whatever, that have never won that way ahead of him. But then is it wrong to criticise someone because they have a dream or they want to be that? You know, even the manager Arne Slot, hey, he's a head coach. I know, you know what I mean. Even Arne Slot said, you know, them kind of words are nice to hear. It means someone wants to be the best. And then people say, well, we'll defend him because he was asked this question and he's only answering that. And if he wants to go and play for Real Madrid, let him. He's given him years of service. All right, okay, I get it. But I find it disappointing. I find it all disappointing. And maybe I am wrong. But I don't know. I would just, you know, I'm used to, like, players that have maybe been from a city in the past that have gone, I didn't need to read my contract, I just signed it. I love this club. You know, I've seen that over the years. You know, there was nothing to discuss. You know, I always want to play for this club. And that's not what I'm seeing from Trent. But you might tell me that's because he doesn't negotiate his contracts in public. No, that's what he wants you to think. Because you're hiding behind it then, aren't you? You know, you're protecting yourself. Because if you don't get something that you want, you can turn around and say, no, I was always going to stay here. I was not going to negotiate it in public. And then we can move on. Great. Brilliant. Fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say. But this and this, it feels like it's all part of a fucking game to me. That's all. It just feels like it's all part of the game. And I welcome your thoughts on it. That's it, really. Is anyone on the same page as me with that? With that at all? Who knows? But this is only opinion, you know, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's really, really wrong, because if he comes out, you know, breaking news this afternoon, he signed a contract, maybe you'd come on here and go, you were wrong to say that or to think that. Maybe I am. But I would argue that, my defence, I would say, well, Real Madrid didn't go for him then. Look, at the end of the day, it's a game of football. You know, it's just a game, and we're allowed to talk about these things. If Trent wants to go and play for Real Madrid, I ain't got a problem with that. You know what I mean? Just don't dick the club around. And if he goes to Real Madrid, I wish him well. If he stays at Liverpool, I wouldn't think about any of this ever again. As far as I'm concerned, if they announce today he signed a new deal, the whole thing will be finished. I'll be like, right, whatever. You know, because at the end of the day, the lad can do what he wants, right? The lad can do what he wants. But, you know, as fans, we expect them to be committed to our club forever and all that. Yet when a club wants to toss them to one side, they do. You know, maybe he does have ambitions. I would argue that Real Madrid are a more ambitious club than Liverpool Football Club. Their ownership, just the way that they work, that doesn't mean that they're better than Liverpool Football Club. You know, we sent them packing recently. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I don't want to offend you with those words, but that's just my personal opinion. I do think that they are a very ambitious club, but with that comes a lot of pressure as well. And that's why I don't think it would work for him if he went there. Because I don't think he's a Galactico. You know what I mean? So, but if he goes, then fine. All right. So, You know, right now, who would want to leave Liverpool? You know, like Liverpool, you know, top of everything, but top of everything don't mean anything. It's where you finish and what you do year in, year out. And I left the United Kingdom to come and live in Spain. You know what I mean? Because I wanted a change, and I wanted, you know, the sun, I guess, to an extent. You know, a warmer climate and a cheaper way of life, and you know, there's just a lot of things here better than England. I'm sorry if you don't like me saying that, but there is. But that's a personal choice, right? So I was allowed to make that choice. You know, but there's things about home that could never be replicated here. And I love going home, you know, back to England and those things, you know. So the point I'm trying to say here is I can't criticise for someone if they want to go and live in another country. You know, and it's his friend. You know, my best friend lives in America. Many times I thought, you know, God, I wish I could just go over there and live with my boy, man. I don't mean like live with him, you know what I mean? Hashtag no Diddy or anything. I just mean like how nice it would be for us both to be in the same place. I mean, you know, if Bellingham is his best buddy, then you can understand that, you know, like Smooth, the only time my best friend's called Smooth, he lives in Syracuse, upstate New York. I'm waiting for him to jump on the Xbox today, 6-hour time difference. You know, I would love to be in the same town as him and, you know, uproot and go there and do stuff like that. So if there's a bit of that, maybe you want to say it's not all about what happens on the pitch. It's not all about money. I don't think it's all about money. Yeah, huge signing on fee. Liverpool will have offered him a fortune. He's already fucking minted anyway, right? I don't think it's just about that. And maybe, you know, people judge it only by, you know, the potential of winning silverware. You will win silverware at Liverpool. He's already won silverware at Liverpool. You know, some people might argue that he might win more at Real Madrid. But, you know, I think it's about, you know, maybe the lifestyle, the challenge, doing something different. You know, it's not just about on the pitch, though, is it? It's like, yeah, we'll go out later. Me and our lads are coming down. You know, we'll go out and we'll do this on a weekend. You can kind of understand it if that's what, you know, it's got to be a part of it. I don't have a problem with it, guys, you know. I guess the reason for the video was to ask you what you thought about this, and maybe this, but I've already addressed that in a video last night. I resent, I've got to be honest, and I might be unfair, but I do resent this and this and this shit, like just play football, get on with it. If you want to shut people up, if you want to shut these Spanish friends of ours up, do you know what I mean? If you want to shut the fans up, if you want to shut the newspaper, everything, just be honest and tell people what your intentions are or what you're going to do. Maybe he's not, maybe he doesn't have to tell us anything, but you know, if you're going to put yourself in that situation, then you are going to get this. It's as simple as that. But the focus of my video is more about this. You know, he obviously didn't want anyone to know what he was saying. All right, I'll leave it with you. Not the greatest of videos, I guess. But yeah. And, you know, and if you're sick of hearing about Trent, I'm sure that the exclusive remedy to that is read the titles of my videos, and if there's something in the title that says Trent, don't watch them. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I'll speak to you later, all being well. I should be live on here at 7 o'clock tonight, UK time. I say should because my day's a little bit mixed at the moment. I'm not sure what's happening. So yeah, anyway, if you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. I'd appreciate it. Cheers, guys.